Recently, girls basketball has become a hit at school. Xiaojiao, who has a bit of a tomboyish vibe, is always the top pick by the class monitor. Her friend Ai Li, however, is constantly overlooked and she's fed up with it. After school, Ai Li vented to Xiaojiao, complaining that the monitor was being biased. Xiaojiao just shrugged and said, "No matter who I'm teamed up with, as long as I get to play basketball, it's fine." Ai Li wasn't happy with that response. Later, Ai Li invited Xiaojiao to her house to hang out, saying she'd also asked a few other classmates. Xiaojiao didn't think much of it and agreed. But when she arrived, she realized something was off. All the other people Ai Li had invited were members of the other basketball team. It was obvious Ai Li was trying to gang up and split the class into factions. Xiaojiao was torn. If she stayed, she'd risk being seen as an enemy by her usual teammates. If she left, she'd fear being left out. Just as she was struggling, Yuanzi spoke up. For someone who usually kept things simple, Yuanzi saw through the drama clearly. Taking Yuanzi's hint, Xiaojiao called Ai Li later, following her mom's advice, and made up an excuse to leave. Even though she felt guilty about lying, she couldn't help but feel a weight lift off her shoulders. But the trouble wasn't over. The next day at school, Ai Li and her group dragged Xiaojiao into the bathroom for a private meeting. Ai Li ranted about how the monitor always picked her favorite people for her team, leaving everyone else out. It was unfair, she said. She demanded Xiaojiao pick a side publicly. Xiaojiao, who'd always tried to stay neutral, refused to answer. Frustrated, Ai Li and the others finally let her go. Xiaojiao thought to herself, the monitor's favoritism was wrong, but was Ai Li's forming cliques to fight back any better? She knew right from wrong, and she wasn't going to compromise her principles. After that, her friend's attitude toward her did a 180. They even teamed up with others to make fun of her and her mom. Xiaojiao never imagined that her first friend since moving to the fishing port would drift away like this. From then on, she had to walk home alone. Luckily, Yuanzi was always there to cheer her up when she was down. Yuanzi took Xiaojiao to the aquarium. On the bus there, they ran into a classmate who kept making silly faces at them from time to time. Xiaojiao was caught off guard. She had no idea this classmate would bring her a nice surprise later. When the two arrived at the aquarium, an elderly man praised Xiaojiao for being such a pretty girl, which made her beam with joy. Yuanzi had the time of her life, and even the penguins seemed extra friendly to her. There was just something about her innocent, kind nature that drew others in. A few days later, the annual temple fair rolled around, and the place was bustling with activity. To Xiaojiao's surprise, her classmates took the initiative to greet her. It turned out they still preferred hanging out with straightforward, uncalculating Xiaojiao over picking sides. Soon, they were playing together again, catching goldfish, grilling snacks, and taking photo booth pictures. That's just how friendships are in school, isn't it? One moment they're upset with each other, the next they're laughing like nothing happened. They ran into Ai Li at the fair, too. This time, she was all alone. Ever since the new semester started, the other girls in the class had collectively shut her out. Probably because her constant nitpicking and bossy attitude had finally backfired, and she was now reaping the consequences. Xiaojiao felt a twinge of sympathy seeing her former friend like this, but she didn't know what to say or do. Just as Xiaojiao was lost in her thoughts, Yuanzi called her over. Even though Yuanzi was an adult, she still loved being silly and playful. She was making funny faces again, which made Xiaojiao feel a little awkward. But her classmates were used to it by now. They even helped smooth over the awkwardness, saying, "Your mom is so young at heart." They also didn't hold back from teasing, "You and your mom don't look alike at all." Xiaojiao didn't mind, though she'd lost count of how many times people had said that to her. She glanced over and saw her mom chatting and laughing with a man who was grilling snacks, and had his shoes off, scratching his foot. Xiaojiao couldn't help but wonder, was Yuanzi falling in love again? Why was she all giggly and flirty now, in the middle of summer, when she'd been so quiet back in spring? At the fair, she ran into that classmate who'd made faces at her on the bus again. She'd seen him a few times on her way home, too. Xiaojiao found herself curious. What kind of person was he, really?